And welcome back. Everything has been fixed.
It was Bora. Nailed it.
Okay. A little bit late. But, yeah, we are going to be going into what is T-side start for Fnatic. It is going to be that third and final map. The winner is going to survive in the Pro League finals. And, well, the other is going to be going home. Luckily for either of these teams, it is quite a short trip back. Just a train. It's not too bad.
Not like a 16-hour flight or anything.
Dear Lord. It's not all about you, Jason, unfortunately. Here we go. Straight in already. Brolin going to be getting that opening pick. The nice pop flash from Flusher, and it leaves Stown. A couple of other teammates still waiting on the B side. Rotation already coming in from S-Tag as well. And a bit of a awkward timing for Baruch, because they do start taking quite a bit of damage into the site. Somehow, though, they're still surviving. Stown has not been removed from his position just yet, and now he's trying to clutch it out all on his own. Two players looking to circle him in. And a well-timed peek from JW is going to be there. It's Fnatic to get the Swedes onto the board, and an important start in the pistol round.
Yeah, well done, too, considering like Stown's in a decent position. I guess, I wonder if Borup didn't get caught with a smoke out, would that affected how the round actually would have went? Because he got knocked down to very low HP. He did still pick up one kill, though, before he'd die. But I wonder if the smoke was misplaced because of like the chaos that ensued from, you know, someone walking around a corner with a smoke in your hand. But either way, they do have 3 nades, probably going to be... Actually, I thought they were going to throw them in towards Fountain, but I guess they're going to be throwing them over towards Connector. One does get popped down. So I'm going to be going for the re-peek in towards middle, looking for the shot. They have the double scout set up. Actually, both scouts going to be over towards the A site, so... I want to say a little bit risky, but hey, if you hit the same player, that's a free kill. They can definitely have the chance to tag them up before they transition in towards A.
I expect a fairly slow and steady round out from Fnatic, not wanting to risk any of the weaponry. We saw a 4-spy war at the beginning of the last map, which went backwards and forwards for 6 rounds before eventually Heroic came out on top.
Yeah, that was a frustrating couple of rounds you could see for both those teams. I mean, what, Fnatic won like 2 of the 3 rounds were just CZs.
Tag is going to come in, so at least doing a little bit of damage, but they're going to build into this B site once again. Late smoke coming down from Cadian will reduce the clock at least a little bit. Flusher trying to actually fight through it, and they're going to get aggressive through the smoke. Actually, there's a TK in the mix. And it's happening again, Jason. Golden, the only one left versus 5. 30 seconds to play with. AK going to be retrieved and just tries to retreat back. Got a good idea as where Golden is going to be, and you almost wonder if it might just be worth saving his gun. He's actually going to opt to throw one of them out of the map. I like the idea. Get rid of the SG. That's the worst weapon to go over to the other side. And well, we're going to see the scoreline equalize, but they still retrieve 2 AKs. Either way, a strong start. A MAC-10 even picked up as well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Fnatic go in with a buy of their own just because their money is as bad as it gets. 1,500, the maximum, and then just the loss bonus on the remainder of the players.
It's going to be frustrating now for Fnatic. And I don't want to say they can't win this next round. I mean, they do have the CZ. We already saw, again, what it can do on Vertigo, but that was on the CT side. Also looking for an avenue to open things up. They would love to take away these AKs. As I think S-Tag and Kane just actually swap things over. And have they taken their time here? Again, like, loser of this map is out. Season 10 of the ESL Pro League. You won't be back tomorrow. You won't be participating for a chance to increase your earnings. Maybe get one step closer to getting a position into Extreme Masters Katowice 2020. I think we're Astralis and Fnatic are the only teams qualified at the moment. I think there's even qualifiers for it, if I'm not mistaken. I was hoping you would know.
Yeah, I think there will be some.
Are we going to cast those together?
Who knows? Cadian.
I don't think he knows. Oh, sorry.
Watching for the push to be coming in, and the pistol's only available on the T side. S-Tag, the smoke goes down. He's going to play on the edge of it. Sprays wild and has to be careful not to get overwhelmed. Flusher just going to try and hold on the other side, and the bomb is going to be planted as a minimum for Fnatic. They're still not getting a massive amount of money, but it's something. At least in Golden picking off another. They've got to be careful. Flusher actually gets one while waiting on the other side of the smoke, but quickly and cleanly 2 more kills come in. Crims need to work some miracles here. He does manage a first kill, but I think that should be all she wrote. The trade should be coming in thick and fast. Needs an impressive 1 league here, and it isn't going to be happening. Cadian will get that defusal, though it is going to take him a little bit longer than he'd probably like. And in the meantime, we're just seeing some weaponry being searched for by S-Tag. Even still, that is ridiculously close. And in reality, like Fnatic, although they can't get a full buy, they could juggle some weapons around and try and break the economy. They did so much with so little, I wouldn't even really be against it.
Okay, he goes straight up for the AWP. S-Tag's going to have an AK on the ground to pick up. And it looks like they will go for the force here, so... Oh, bit of an interesting play for Fnatic, though it could work out in their favor if they can just get these kills. The Molotovs being used early prevents them from getting out in towards middle off the bat. And even to have Flusha kind of like lurking over towards short, like at least towards monster side at the moment. So hoping to get something going with the Galil and even have the SG for Brolin, really hoping that he's the one to open things up as well to kind of snowball this round in their favor, though it's going to still be tough. There's still so much utility left for the side of Heroic. And all Fnatic have to execute on towards the side is just the 1 flashbang and the 2 smokes.
This time as well, there's been quite an upgrade on weaponry for Cadian. AWP in play. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet today. Still a lot more to show, that's for sure. Smoke's going to be going down. It is S-Tag to start things off, and still lurking around, snapping with a little bit of aggression. It's actually Stown taking the majority of the damage, but ultimately clean things up quite nicely. Not a single player lost with a fair amount of money invested. And what's peculiar there is that the loss bonus is still not going to be enough to actually get them a buy onto the board here. So Fnatic now just going to have to take that hit. Not really getting anywhere near enough done in the previous round.
I will say, though, I think Heroic is going to be a nice little morale boost for them, getting these 4 rounds straight. I mean, just winning the second round after losing Pistol in the fashion they did, then to follow up with 4 straight. I mean, Vertigo should have been their map, right? Like, they had clearly a better win rate on it. They played it more. They've obviously struggled on it today. It feels like at some points they had that game almost locked up. I should start to feel more, I guess, comfortable as this match continues to go. Looks like Fnatic are just going to bombard this site here with the flashbang. That incendiary grenade that Stown's holding, though, might be enough to hold them back. Flashbang thrown in. Molotov comes out as well, and Borup gets his head cleanly taken off.
Yeah, they know that Stown's in the corner as well. This is going quite well now for Fnatic, with only 2 players actually standing, and one of them holding an AWP. I don't even know where they're fighting this. This is just giving more weapons over to the Swedes, and that execution was far too successful considering what they'd actually invested into this round. This was mainly them just saving money for the next. Sure, they had a few pistols in there as well, but a bit of a worry for Heroic fairly on in this half. They've got the money to repurchase, so the Danes are not in an overwhelming amount of trouble, but yeah, great work from the Swedes, and clearly already exploiting some serious vulnerabilities within that Heroic defense. If they're able to do so much with so little, they'll get a big bolster to their economy. And Golden and Flusher will even get a couple of free weapons.
I forget, they had 1 flashbang, and did they have 1 smoke as well?
I think so.
I think they smoked up Toxic, and then flashed through the initial push into Monster, or through Monster. And they're able to be like that successful. I mean, obviously with Borup going down, they already had a man disadvantage. Stown gets dropped while his teammate towards the water was blinded up, so he didn't have the opportunity to be saved. Just like a pretty solid, simple execute out of Fnatic. That wasn't even like really an execute, it was just a little bit of luck going their way. A little bit of aim as well, obviously. But it seems like they might just want to stick to their guns here, keep hitting this B site. They still have to contend with the op out of Cadian. the rifles bought up for the rest of Heroic. But utility definitely in favor of the Swedes.
Leon at least we're still seeing a relatively heavy stack. Through the wood this time, a little bit different. Cadian, he's jumped over to the side, but he's been caught out. Down to just 35. These early duels training damage back and forward, and actually it's Flusher through the smoke. That's never been said before.
He's just lifting his mouse.
S-Tag, this is an important duel. He knows that JW's there as well, so if he does lose it, I'll be quite surprised, and well, that's at least going to take that advantage away, but he's now the sole defender. They're going to start really putting the pressure on. Decent in the last map, needs to do even more, and well, 2 kills is a good attempt, at least bought some time for the rotation. But Fnatic are still going to get in here, and Roland gets another entry. I mean, that might be the final one, but actually, Snappy trades that back so quickly, he's given himself a chance. Unfortunately, no real utility to work with in this situation, so he has to just try and bait them out with what he's got. It doesn't even seem like there's any grenades for him to pick up, and with Flusher just playing so close around the corner, I don't really see a way that he gets away with anything here. So just going to opt to run away, take his gun into the next round. He'll be able to drop one S-Tag can buy. They could go for a bit of a more risky force. I don't know why he's still got his knife out here.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I think he got past the point where that little bit of extra speed was worth having the knife out for, especially when there could easily be players waiting around that position. So gun dropped, it's going to mean that their buy for the next round is going to be a bit more dicey. In fact, they're going to actually buy up a Mag 7 for S-Tag. He doesn't even have enough to buy Kevlar behind it. This buy looks like it's going to suck. I'm not really sure why they're investing so much into it.
I wonder if that was a misbuy out of S-Tag. Because like the timeout came in after he bought.
Well, no, he bought the AWP. He was bought the Mag 7 by Cadian. So maybe, but I don't know. That seems unlikely. I think the AWP was definitely intentional. It's whether or not they're actually going for a full investment here. That's the question I'm asking, because Stout and Borup don't really have enough to buy. But if that's the case, then why would Snappy buy all the way down to 0? And yeah, as I said, S-Tag's kind of understandable, but now Cadian's bought all the way down as well. So I assume this is going to be pretty much everything invested in. Yeah, they are going to go for it. T-side, they've already built up a little bit of bank, at least onto Flusher, but these last few rounds have still been relatively close. So it's understandable that they want to keep the pressure on. Although, as we've sort of seen already, there's been moments in these games where Heroic definitely could have just taken an eco and come back in with a better buy, and that is a nice nade to start.
Perfect nade. 51 damage to Cadian. 24 to Borup. Really good read out of Fnatic so far. S-Tag though. It's quite the person to kill off with the Mag 7 if he's able to do it. He's actually burning down to 38 HP though. But does have Kaden to support and to back him up and get the kill into JW. So they get the early man advantage, though again, like I said before, weapon's not going to favor them, and they actually might barrel in towards the safe side. It's just going to be one man to defend Snappy with the M4. Just quickly come in towards CT. Cadian, he took all of his damage from grenades in this round, unfortunately.
Snappy's done a good job at least of holding onto the side for now. It seems like the T's might even be scared off of a push. How quick is the response going to be? Actually, very quick. Snappy does go down eventually. Does this change the mind of the T's? It doesn't. Not at all. They're going to go pushing into the upper bar up. Back they go again. Running right around. They're doing an around the world at the moment. The problem is Brolin could be challenged while they make their rotation. Now knows that there is a player around the bank, and they don't have any utility anymore, so it is just going to have to come down to pure angels. The CTs have been able to throw at least a smoke in to get them that little bit closer. Dinked up is Brolin, but he still wins the battle. And the remaining 2 players tagged within inches of their life, they are just going to have to save their weaponry once again. So a 4th round already on the T side for Fnatic. A little bit of weaponry saved for Heroic, but they're going to need a hero in the next round. I don't think they can force around this again. Although the loss bonus is starting to build up behind them, I just don't think it's worth it. And we'll see how they feel on the matter. Of course, I'll be interested to see how much money S-Tag and Barup actually have, because if they have enough to drop a rifle, they could take a risk here, but it's getting to the point where if you continuously take these risks, you're just going to put yourself out of the map. And at this point, it's not about like, oh, can we crush the economy of Fnatic? Because no, you can't. Flusher has $8,800. He alone can drop a couple of weapons for his team. Brolin is just under 6K, so they are going to go for it. They're going to risk it again. It's not the worst buy in the world, but I feel like if Heroic continue to lose these rounds, they're sort of putting one foot in the grave on their own.
Reminds me a little bit of like the force buys on Vertigo. But at least you were playing for like a good goal, like you said. If you win the second round, then you're going to win a third because they're going to have to save here. If you win this round, it doesn't really change anything for you. Well, let's see. They have a lot of utility on Stown left, however. As tag the sole defender towards A, and Snap has been dropped down to 13 HP, which is his Deagle. Trying to look for a spray down. You can see now he's just kind of figuring out what he can do. Stown as well dropped to 6 health. And unfortunately for Heroic, they just are taking damage left and right. They've not done a single point of damage though to their opponents. Okay, and this is his chance. He needs to get this kill. Golden will be tagged up, but he'll back away and survive. Boer try to hold on towards short. And, well, Fnatic are just like, all right, we're out. Peace. You stacked B, we're going to head towards A.
Yeah, that's one thing that I always respect in a team, is when they're more than willing to just give up on like a push that isn't working and fall back and try and reposition. S-Tag, he's in a great spot, though. This should be a free kill, at least one. But good trade coming out from Brolin. T's making their way forward, but at the same time, there's still going to be presence on this site. Utility fairly minimal now for the CT side, so they're just going to have to battle out with the weaponry. Good kill from Crims. Cadian needs to go big here. He spots the gun around the corner. The smoke actually goes down, tries for the no-scope, but can't find anything and just gets domed instantly. Brought from behind, can only get one. And again, it's force buy after force buy for Heroic. It's close round after close round. But in these clutch situations, Fnatic come out on top every single time. And this is something that has been referenced about this Swedish side time and time again. They're so good in these clutch situations. They're so good when they're under pressure. They brought in a young player in the form of Brolin. Obviously, he's not the latest addition, not even close, but who also fits that mantra. He seems to also be so level-headed in a lot of these plays. Currently sitting 8 and 5, and oh, I like the nades. Good start, at least. Brolin trying to defend off the weapon. Falls back, but it's JW to take the brunt of the play. CT side already doing quite a lot of damage considering their purchase. Brolin is still doing the work just to keep things relatively safe.
Meantime, Snap is like, why didn't they rush B? To be fair, with the presence Heroic had, it's a very big possibility they could have done this, and they actually might be able to sneak in from behind, but he's got to line up these shots. Or not line them up directly, but needs to get these 2 kills quickly. Smoke goes in. They should have this first kill. I'm going down now, and he rescues the AK. He has no armor, though, so he needs to not get tagged up, and Brolin quickly just going to rotate back up towards Heaven. Snappy's not going to expect this, is he?
Brolin is so enjoyable to watch. Like, genuinely one of my favorite players to watch. Just the way that he thinks, the way that he plays these rounds. It's just so intelligent. Can he actually get this? Surely he can't. He is going to be able to tap it, and then the Molotov spreads. It does quite just about go far enough. Like, for someone so young, he just seems to be so smart in all of these situations. Even hits the shot at the end, but he made sure that the round was already over by the time he goes for the peak. Like, everything in this round from Brolin was smart. It's a shame that the round went down like this for Fnatic. Like, the fact that so much damage was done off the basis of very, very little invested. It's still a good round for Heroic, but I think this is just intelligent play. Like, use of the Molotov, the rotation in the first place to get back into Heaven. Like, this is the sort of player that you want on your team. And, well, there's a reason he's the top of the board at the moment.
The smoke he threw down as well when he went for the plant allowed him to get the retreat without being seen, or the rotation. Stown, though, he's like, all right, those are the youngsters on the server here. I mean, from what I can see in the minimap, people basically just single-handedly stopped pushing towards that site. Snap in a good position as well. Second time JW's died in towards connector. The legend you're talking about before, Brolin is still alive, and he's hungry for more kills. Just about where is he potentially going to find them?
There's still plenty of time. Fnatic have been good at baiting rotations away, forcing Heroic to thin their defense on certain sides of the map, but I don't really see a way that they get back into this round. There's still so much utility. No damage done yet to the CT side. As you can see, they're going to start laying down the smokes. They've still got Incendiary, a couple of HEs, some flashbangs, and another smoke onto Cadian as well. I feel like they'd have to make a pretty big mistake, or Fnatic would have to do something fairly impressive. And it's even getting to the point in this round where I even wonder if Fnatic are going for this. Like, 25 seconds left. They're going to go for that boost up. Nothing really gained, clearing the barrels, but where does it get to the point where you just opt to save your weapons? I guess they're not going to. They're going to go running in. Stown, another kill with that AWP. He's been doing very well in this round. At least Steven gets his third. And, oh, Golden, there's nothing you're going to be able to do here. A flawless round out of basically nowhere for Heroic. That is not something I expected to see, considering how the last few rounds have gone. They've been very scrappy, but every time Fnatic has come out on top, the amount of damage in that round definitely dwindled the economy of Fnatic with those pistols, but they're still going to have a buy.
I gotta agree with you. I kind of wonder why they decided to go after leaving it down to like 15 seconds. Like, that's just so many areas you have to clear and get the bomb down, and if the bomb is dislodged, if the player dies with it, then how do you recover it in plant in time? I mean, they still have the weaponry to fight here, but maybe they could have had the op. They wanted JW to play with it on the T side. I mean, they know Stown was using it before, and he's been successful. Cadian, a little bit hit or miss over the course of the series, but not a terrible stop. And Borup. That's a little 2-kill as they push through the smoke. So it's going to be a 4-on-3, and JW tries to equalize, but no, S-Tag comes through, and Borup again. Where has he been? 3K for him. Fourth almost certainly there to come through.
Managing to pick up an AK with actually less bullets in it. Brolin eventually going to go down. Big round from Barup. I'm seeing a couple of players on the Heroic side start to step up a little bit, and they finally diminished that economy. The Deagle round combined with 2 in a row. It's going to leave Fnatic bare bones. Now, they've already got 6 rounds on the T side, so this isn't going to be a poor half from them anyway, but even still, you're not going to want to lose a streak of rounds towards the end of the half that sets Heroic up nicely going into the T side. You're going to want to get back on the horse fairly soon. This round, though, can't really expect too much. A Deagle, P250s, and a singular smoke. Be interested to see where that goes at least, but you can see the confidence being gained now by the Danes. They're starting to get aggressive. I think they know that this is one of those rounds where chances are they've got it in the bag, so take some fights, get aggressive, bomb down all the way in spawn. So it's a shame that Crims has managed to get onto the bomb site, because he's not going to be able to make that extra money for his side. Broly is going to be forced out the angle, and I don't really know what's going on here. This has looked like almost a switch of roles as the CT side tried to retake their own side without anybody having the bomb, and Crims just trying to do as much damage as possible.
Like you mentioned, confidence for Heroic. I think that's something that might have been missing a little bit so far. We know what they can do if they do get confident. They start to hit their shots. I mean, look at Borup, like 12-4, 12-7, just kind of out of nowhere. Snappy at 11 kills as well. Stown only at 8, but he's had a couple of good ones here or there. And I kind of agree with you about Cadian. He's been having a slower series in general. As Inferno, that's a little bit to be desired, but they still have managed to tie things up at 6 apiece. And they've just fully given control towards A initially as well.
Once again, slow default round coming out from Fnatic. I think the more aggressive play in the previous didn't really work out too well for them. Attempted to brute force the issue and got punished by Barup. Instead, we're going to see them challenge potentially in towards long again. I think waiting in case there's any aggression, and there is. Down, makes the peak. Takes a lot of damage in return, even has the nade available for JW just to hold him back. Take far more damage back in return. Has to actually be careful here. Stound's actually going to win that battle. That is not something I thought I'd be saying at the end of that duel. Impressive work from him. The T's are now just going to opt to make their move down lock. This is so risky. I didn't really see a way that Stound came out of that alive, but an important trade. Snappy doesn't actually know how far Brolin's got just yet. He'll be looking to try and kill off the players on site. Tagged down to just 17 HP. Golden somehow finds the kill. They haven't clipped her up. Nice work from Brolin once again, though. Leaves just 2 players remaining. Cadian unable to connect, and I think the decision's been made once again just to save their weaponry. They've got some backup cash, some funds to buy into the next round, but don't just want to waste it.
Flusher, though, will at least take the op out of the hands of Cadian. Nestag does have an AK, but he does have 9,000 money to spend in the next round, at least at the moment. Maybe make it expensive for the other team. Maybe take a player or 2 with you. Gets down Golden. Flashbang comes through. Or Brolin, he's still watching the bomb. He's still in the general area, and this should be an easy kill for him, but S-Tag gets the kill. I don't think he has the time, though, unfortunately.
Oh, that was actually really close.
Too close for comfort. But he still takes 2 people with him, though, so it makes it expensive for the side of Fnatic. And, I mean, look at the money as well. Not too bad of a round, actually, for him.
I did not think that was going to be as close as it was. Tactical pause taken from Heroic. Even if you talk about like some of these rounds being a little bit close, like Fnatic with 7 rounds on the T side, I think they're going to be fairly content with that. As said, it's a map that they've played a fair amount, so same can be said for Heroic. I think they've got a lot more maps, but obviously we see them playing in online and sort of tier 2 tournaments, so understandable that they do have a lot more maps under their belt. Double orb setup will be brought in once again. Stound's been fairly effective using it on the B site. It's just a problem when it comes down to retake scenarios. Like, if you do lose one of the sites, then things get a little bit more dicey. Speaking of dicey, Brolin's actually only going to have a UMP in this round, which I do find quite irritating because he's been the man actually getting a lot of the entry frags for the side. Either way, I'm seeing a little bit of aggression now coming out from Barup.
Actually holding like aggressively towards toilets too, a little bit here. I mean, have a little bit of a crossfire set up. I mean, not really crossfire, kind of holding different angles between S-Tag and Snappy. And then have some backup at Acadia, and they're really trying to predict that Fnatic want to go in this direction, and they might have read into it perfectly. Especially with that smoke being thrown in, it might reinforce the idea, hey, we should keep this stack in this position, see if we get some early kills. Obviously, both teams still trying to fight for that first half lead. Flashbang comes through, but it's not like they try to capitalize off this. But S-Tag, can he do it?
Oh, the timing's so perfect. They actually get distracted as well by Snappy. Probably not the happiest person in the world right now, as he's the one who gets owned by the smoke fading. Rotation already starting to come in from Fnatic. They are looking to go back towards that B site, but they're not going to be finding it easy at all. Barup, he's going to hear all of the footsteps. He's just waiting. Oh, and he actually gets spotted. That's so much information. They could actually peek back through and kill him off. This could be perfect. Roland knows he's there. The flashbang's so good for a flusher as well. Smart from JW, but Stound's still here. He can even hold the cross back onto long. They're going to try and smoke him off. They have to run through. They have to try and get this bomb plant. And Stound knows it. He's going to try and fight it, but Flusher finds another kill coming in, and Cadian tries to go through the Molotov. It's so risky, and Flusher kills them all. 3 kills from the Swede. A brilliant flashbang as well to help on the 4th, and a round thrown away by Heroic.
So why did Cadian push the Molotov? Was he maybe expecting to, like, all right, well, they're not going to expect me to push this, so I can reposition, or I can catch them trying to reposition after getting the bomb down? Is this going back to the P250 spam on Inferno? Trying to waste the bullet, so if he dies, then they pick it up with no ammo? Nah, there's no way it's the same kind of thing.
There's a couple of rounds like that, though, like when Stound ran in to be on Vertigo, where I felt like they had a really good opportunity and an after plant, if they just waited. But they wanted to get in, they wanted to disrupt whatever Fnatic were doing. And that's where Fnatic plays their best Counter-Strike. Like, when the madness begins, the Fnatic players are so experienced and so used to all of this that it's not so much a problem for them. Flusher. Caught, but not removed.
I mean, I remember Sponge did say about Fnatic that, at least the older Fnatic, before we saw Gold with it.
What? Where did that bullet go?
Not sure.
Disappeared into the abyss. S-tag with one of the most beautiful Famishes I think I've ever seen. Unfortunately, he's going to get burned to death, so it doesn't really make a difference. The gun will survive at least. The paint job may be scratched a little. A dirty peek coming out from Barup. Brolan, he's been so good in these afterplant situations. So the second they get the bomb down and Brolan's there, I'm not worried for them. And already, he's going to help close out this half. A 9-6 in favor of Fnatic on the T side of Overpass. A lot of work for Heroic to do, and we're going to witness it after the break. A 9-6 half for Fnatic as they move onto the CT side. It looks like they're firmly in the driver's seat, but can Heroic take over? Can they get back into command? They had opportunities in the previous map, their choice of Vertigo, where they weren't able to close out a lead, and after winning their opponent's choice of Inferno, they could be one half away from heading home, which, hey, as said, is not that far away. We've already got the finals in Denmark, but I'm sure after the first map, when they'll be expecting a little bit more here, especially in the first stage as well, managing to get straight through in first place. JW, ready and waiting Doesn't manage to connect the shots, tries to fall back and is overwhelmed by KD, and a strong start in the pistol round, at least for the Danes. Making their way forward. So bomb is going to be planted. A kit available for Flusher. A lot to still do in this retake, however. Brolin looking for the shots, unable to connect initially, and it's going to be a quick trade from Stown. Golden, he will meet the same fate as well.
Jeez. Basically just trying to do it all on his own here, Stown. Eventually he will be cleaned up. Bomb still taken away. But up in the perfect position, him and Snappy together can just completely shut this round down. And Flusher can't get the kill. And Flusher's the one with the kit, so he's gonna have to back away. And time is just disappearing, but Flusher gets the first kill. And then she has tag and Bower's gonna clean that one up. You know, you mentioned earlier on about Fnatic, can they close this out? I'm just curious, are they gonna fall asleep at the wheel? This is the first time that they've actually had a lead at the end of the first half. It was 9-6 first half of Inferno, 8-7 first half of Vertigo in favor of Heroic both times. And they had a 9-6 on Overpass, so fortune does favor them here, but can they close out the game is going to be the real question.
Well, especially with going onto the CT side as well. Like, I expect Fnatic to now take it over the line, but a pistol round victory is definitely going to make things that little bit easier for Heroic. They'll get that strong start. It's whether they can actually win out the second round, because we've seen so many backwards and forwards rounds, especially on Vertigo. It was 6 rounds where there was no clear decisive winner, and the pistols were so prominent for Fnatic. I think Flusher was part of the key to that with the CZ. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them force into this second round either. So it's not like this is going to be an easy scenario for Heroic by any stretch of the imagination. But at the same time, if you come in with the rifles, you should be expecting to win.
I think we're having a little bit of a tech pause here.
Yeah, I know we did have some issues just before this map began.
Yeah. I wonder if it's power up again.
So hopefully it's not something recurring, and maybe there's just a small sound issue or something. Like that's not anything too bad. It's just if that's a continuation. Actually surprised to see that Golden at the moment really not performing. He had a very good game of Vertigo. I think he top fragged with 28 kills.
Yeah, what about JW though?
Yeah, JW is he has been kind of underwhelming throughout. I don't feel like we've seen anywhere near the best of him, which, hey, if they manage to get through the series with a win, that might mean that there's a lot better to come from Fnatic if he hasn't had the best of days. It's definitely a possibility. Day one, you do see players sometimes underperform, and unfortunately with having a couple of matches in a day, that can be quite brutal. Like if you're having a bad day, you get eliminated for a tournament, you don't get to see if you're going to have a better day in the next. But
the thing is, their match the next day would be MIBR.
The thing is, I don't necessarily think that would be a bad game.
Yeah, I don't know how to rate it, because I mean, Na'Vi just have been playing well so far today, right? I mean, they 16-9 them on Train, 16-4 them on Dust 2.
Yeah, I think that I think with a match versus MIBR, there's definite opportunities. I think there's tougher opponents at the moment that they could be facing off against. So I don't think for either of these teams they'll mind too much. I think it'll definitely be a better matchup for Fnatic, because I think that all in all, this will be a match that they played against a lot of the players. They'll know a lot of the tendencies, and they're one of the teams that has actually changed things recently. So yeah, and also like rumors of players being removed and others being added. Hey, who knows?
One thing I don't know, is that Fnatic will be saving it. I know you said you wouldn't be surprised to see them buy up here, but only a flashbang picked up for Flusher to allow them to go for the peak. A lot of potential money to be bought up for, or picked up this side of Heroic with Cadian and Snappy both on the Mac 10s. Borup is going to have a lot of company. Should be some easy kills. Flashbang comes through, but doesn't seem to work too well for them. Golden will eventually clean it up and have access to the AK, but Stown's going to be there. Actually, no, they're just going to run straight up towards the A side. They realize, all right, well, it's not worth trying to save the AK. Let's just get the bomb down. And there you go. That should be enough to do it. If you're Golden, I would imagine you're just going to save the AK for the following round.
Bomb has been planted.
Yeah, I think if you can get the gun back, then little dink. I think that's the moment where Snappy actually goes, you know what, I'm not going to bother with that. And instead, I think he's just giving it over to S-Tag, who now might make the same attempt. Oh, Snappy, he's so unlucky. The peak comes back in, and he gets killed. But nonetheless, they do clean things up. A couple of players lost.
You saw that Golden threw the AK away, right?
Yeah. I assume.
So he felt like he wasn't going to be able to save it, so he actually tossed it in T-spawn, like he got rid of the gun. Yeah, and then
he was right. He did die.
Yeah, but he died because he pushed towards like middle. So I don't know. That was interesting. I guess they're trying to chase the AK down. He was trying to like outsmart them, thinking that they were going to chase him down. Period. But either way, they don't save the AK and they're forced to buy up again. So I guess in the end, it has its desired effect. 3 players for Fnatic looking to potentially push the middle. The nade decently done on the snappy down to 55 health. This is still a very awkward buy for Fnatic. I mean, you have 2 SMGs, you have 4 flashbangs and 4 smokes left. We're only, well, not only, we have 1 minute and 20 left to go on the clock, so a lot of time left for potentially stall with, or just stall for, I should say. And maybe if you know, Heroic win this round, maybe they'll hit their second wind. Maybe they'll look to climb back up.
Here we go, though. Smoke execution, flashbangs, molotovs all flying in. Golden gets aggressive and does some damage, but it's not going to be the kill going his way, at least. Weaponry going to be switched once again, just to give the healthier player the better gun. It means that S-Tag's going to be used somewhat as cannon fodder, and the real worry now for the T-side is all their smokes are gone. This is now just down to individual brilliance. Luckily, Stown for them has just got the headshot onto Crims. The opener is there, 35 seconds left. They could opt to switch still, but it looks like they're fairly dedicated to this site, and Flusher really has to be careful. The second that smoke goes, he's going to be in some real trouble, and that's where the switch comes in. Stown falls. They make their way back. Brolin is going to be in position. Only 20 seconds on the clock. A drop of the bomb here could be vital. S-Tag goes in. He needs to be traded, and actually, Brolin doesn't expect the second player to be there. Nice shot from Snappy as well. Flusher coming in from behind. He denies the plant for a second, but they're still going to be able to get it down. Nothing that Flusher can really do about that. Coming around the corner, knowing that both players are going to be there, and while spraying and praying with a Galil never really works out. 9-9. Heroic, they continue their streak. And the CT side don't have the cash.
Kind of unfortunate. I think if, what was it, Flush with the Galil, if he gets the kill onto the planter, maybe they've been able to buy enough time. Or at least have an opportunity to pull off the 1v1 to win out the round. They do have pistols at least spot up, and 2 flashbangs out of Flush yet again, so maybe trying to set something up, maybe towards the B site, which is currently where he's heading. Even have JW to look in towards connector here. I don't really know what I can say, though, about Heroic's T-side. It's not like it's been like super flash or anything. It just seems to be hitting the shots. I mean, we saw, you know, Stown able to open things up before on the B site. I think he took down 2 in the last round. Cadian, though, he's been the, I guess, quietest one on the Heroic side.
Yeah, it's a shame as well, because now they go on to the T side. His AWP is less likely to be impactful. JW, he's managed to get away with an SG. Uses his flashbang and now doesn't really have a way out. Just going to try and go back towards the spawn, reposition, maybe try and catch someone off guard, which is definitely a possibility, especially considering this is a no investment round. I'm not really worried for Fnatic just yet, because we haven't actually seen a full buy. We haven't seen an AWP, rifles on every player, and every grenade that they could desire. Good read from Cadian, though. May not have had the highest fragging count, but that's an important one, to say the least. That removes the weaponry. It's only going to be a Mach 10 dropped in his place, and although the time's ticking fairly low, the only real worry is the stack. 3 players currently on this site. Sure, they've only got pistols, but a decent crossfire could be all they really need. Molotov actually misses the mark, so that's going to allow for a little bit more space. Golden can just sit back. They have to reuse extra utility to try and clear his position, but nice work from Cadian. Combination across the board, and they kill off everybody without losing a single player.
I mean, it seemed like in that round, Heroic's biggest enemy was themselves. There was 10 seconds left when the round finally ended. You can imagine like 1-2 kills come through for Fnatic, and they can still technically win that round.
The thing I will give, I think you have to give props to Heroic for, is they're very good at that, though. I don't think we've actually seen a slip-up like that, where they've run out of time. It's mostly just been that they're very clinical and very methodical with all of their utility, so they make sure certain positions are going to be cleared out before they actually get in. And Sure, they leave it very late, but that's a skill in itself. Smoke going to be coming down to put out the Molotov. They're looking to completely change up the pace. Flashbang leaves 2 players blind, in fact. A double assist coming in for Snappy, and only 2 now remaining. Heroic's T-side has started off strong, and I love the change of pace going into this round.
Yeah, you talked about before, you're not too worried for Fnatic because have yet to have like a real gun round, and the first time they do, Hero just knocks on the front door and just charges straight through it. It's down to 44 HP off that nade. Cadian's low, Stown's low, Snappy's low. Fnatic technically do have a chance. Biggest downside is JW has an AWP and he's looking to run away. So Stown will unfortunately fall there, but still the damage will be done. They'll get an 11th round on the board. And they still have the money, so not too big of a deal.
I'm actually surprised Stown doesn't manage to connect a single bullet with the Glock. Bit unfortunate. Could have got down an extra player. See, the thing is with this sort of round is I want to see Fnatic with everything. Like, all the utility, everything they could possibly have. At the same time, not buying into this round would be silly. Like, they've just got too much money to save. And they'll still have almost everything available to them. So, no surprise to seeing them buy, but at the same time, I'd like Golden to have extra utility. I'd like to see JW with an Incendiary, maybe an extra kit here or there, and also head armor. And normally that wouldn't be a problem, but Stown has brought up a back 10, maybe expecting a little bit less to be in play. Or maybe it's just because they're going to go blasting straight through this site again. It's going to be a single kill coming in for the CT side initially, but once again, Flusher is there to trade things back, goes for another peek and takes the head off of Cadian as well. They may have fooled them once, but it isn't going to work the second time. Well, Fnatic, they have a 3-man stack. They've left JW alone with the AWP, which I'm sure, well, you can actually see on the X-ray. He's just jump spotting. And the T's are now just going to play the patient game of hoping that somebody peeks into the angle through a few pieces of utility expended. And oh, S-Tag with a nice entry at least, but there's still plenty more players to deal with. Flusher continues his reign of terror in this round. Nice shot from Snappy, but there's nothing more he can do. 4K out from Flusher to put him to 16, and 10th round now on the board for the Swedes.
Yeah, so showing they're down, but then it might not be out. Again, you wanted to see more utility out of them. Luckily, they do clutch out the round, but again, like they don't have tons of money either to spend. Flusher, let's just take that back. Just saw the op back in the hands of JW. Flush on 6K. Crim's forced to go with the SMG. And you do have the full kit of utility, but not the best weaponry 100, fully. As you see again, Crim's. They're still going to go for their standard kind of defensive hold. JW trying to get aggressive in middle with AWP, but I guess he didn't have the best of spawns. He's only on 5 kills, by the way, after 21 rounds. Very rough game for him.
Yeah, luckily, he now goes on to, well, not only the AWP, but the favored side of the map. We've seen them going to the B side the last couple of rounds, so you can forgive that he hasn't been able to do anything just yet. But if they do go in this direction, that's when we need to see JW start to step up and start to pop off, because they're in this map, more than in this map. They're on the favored side, they're 1 round behind, and mainly that's just because the initial rounds went the way of Heroic. They're close to breaking their economy as well. Same can be said for the CT side, however, so still have to be fairly careful. Flusher, the same. Off the light. Well, that's exactly what JW sees. Be patiently waiting for the peak.
A lot of information being gathered by Golden as well as he's pushed out a monster holding towards T-spawn. Honestly, flanking right now would be a really good play. He's actually going to back off, I guess, to help alleviate some pressure for Flusher. Not really knowing if they're going to be going towards Connector. They jump out looking for the shot towards APC.
Running out of time. 20 seconds left. Pincer comes in. Spray through. They're actually getting the picks, though. Again, this is something that Heroic seem to be so good at, but they really are low on the clock. The Flusher, he's so well placed, and he sprays down 3 players. He's won the round individually once again for Fnatic. A legendary player rejoining the roster and now topping the scoreboard alongside Brolin, and that was the most important play. maybe even of the map so far. That was so huge for them. Again, a late round. That's the first time we've seen them punished, but I don't even think they were punished for the bomb being dropped. They were punished because he killed everyone.
I mean, that's 7 kills in 2 rounds. He got a 4K and a 3K. Out of his 19, 7, and 2. He's definitely going to be happy about that. Also, more importantly, puts Fnatic back onto the tie with them and Heroic. And Heroic only have the SG out of Snappy, so hoping he can come up big. Still going to be very tough to do considering how Fnatic have been playing well. Brolin really far pushed up towards long again. Don't think he's been spotted out, but he's going to hear them jumping around. He has to not get overrun. He needs to not lose his weapon, and unfortunately both of those happen. Just donating the SG towards the T side of Heroic.
He's a kind man.
Philanthropist. Yeah. What do you call it if you donate weapons? Philanthropist is like you like to donate money and raise money for charity.
Donating weapons, maybe a warmonger. Like, I felt like you're trying to, well, push forward a war, so you're probably not the best person in the world. Anyway, I'm going to move on from this topic. Golden in a great position. Incendiary still just going to be able to deny them any further presence. Crim's making his way in to help. They even have Flusher here as well, so chances of getting into the B site are slim, and that's why they're not going to try.
And they're going to be able to rush in there, sorry. JW is going to have to hit these shots, so he finally has a backup out of Flusha. 15 seconds left, and time is going to be a major factor for Heroic now. JW is going to miss the shot, so he backs away. Bum slowly making his way through, but it's just been dropped, and that's going to be unfortunate. Astound, though. 2 kills is going to be nice, but 2 kills will not be enough. Fnatic able to get the lead back for themselves at 12-11. And Heroic will... They should be able to buy here, though. Snappy is a little bit low on cash.
Yeah, I imagine it will just be someone ends up with either a MAC-10 or... Okay, he's going to go for a pistol. There was actually their early brute force B rounds that were working quite well for them. I kind of want to see them go back to that, but I guess now that there's so much utility available for Fnatic that it's not really worth the risk. JW still only on 5 kills. As said, though, it's like if they manage to win this with him having an underwhelming performance, I feel like that just sets them up later for if he's playing well to maybe beat some of the better teams. It's always great if you do have an off day, if you can rely on your teammates to drag you through, and I think, especially for a player like him, that's going to give him a lot of confidence. Brolin, definitely been one of those players. 102 ADR, 20 kills. What just happened there? Oh dear. Oh dear, that's gone as bad as it could have gone. I don't even know how he managed that. He just switched to his knife. Was that scroll wheel? Like, that's ridiculous.
Leave the wheel low, top.
That's a massive mistake. Golden at least will be able to make things workable. Oh, timing's going to be everything. An S-tag. Here's him running away, and well, that should be round done. There's going to be a rotation coming in at least. Molotov goes over the top. Flusher, he's got to be a hero once again. Flashbang comes in. He's left blind. Interesting that they do that, considering they then throw the smoke down later. It does allow them to cross to the site, and this time I don't see there being any miracles for Fnatic, and their money's not in a state where they can fight this. So Heroic have broken back at the perfect moment, but I feel like that's solely based on the mistake from Brolin. It's horrible to say because he has been one of the best performers, but his kill gave up another. Like, he was holding that connector to make sure that his teammate didn't die while he was peeking into mid. He makes a mistake, which, again, I don't really know how he did it, but it gives away the gun, and, well, it's down. Great round from him. 3 kills, arguably off a mistake, but he still had to capitalize, and then gets one of the final ones to remove some of the weaponry. And now just look at what's left for Fnatic.
Well, potentially a round deficit here. I find it hard to imagine Heroic will throw this one away. And they are a little bit low on funds, to be honest. Not as hurting as badly as Fnatic is, what was it, 2.8? No, 3.5 out of Flush is the most they have. And obviously don't want to use really that money just yet. Big stack coming out of Fnatic, though, towards middle. Got like, what, 4 in restrooms, basically? Trying to use JW's bait. Maybe thinking that the stack's over towards Beast as he's trying to gather information early on. But as we can see, they're still just holding steady, holding tight. Flusher retreating back just a little bit over towards CT spawn. And I like how, you know, Heroic are taking the time here. They realize, all right, we get a clean round here. They really start to build up on some money. Even if we lose a round, we can, you know, negate that. Meantime, though, Flusher gets a nice kill with the Deagle. 1 on 3. Oh my gosh, stop giving him shots. Oh, if he counts down as well there, I would have been so tilted for Fnatic. Or for Heroic.
Well, a lot of damage done considering that was only a pistol round. 3 players dropped, at least keeping the money relatively honest. There's still a little bit of extra cash for S-Tag, but he does have to buy. Fnatic now come back in with a buy. Still, I hate to rail on him, but JW only on 5 kills. Golden's not had the best performance, but he's definitely not the standout when it comes to the fragging department. Early nade's going to be expended once again to try and take away some of the map control from the T side, but as we see, like, it basically just exchanges a Molotov for a smoke. Definitely not so aggressive this time from the CT side, and understandably so. Not wanting to take those same sort of risks.
Yeah, I think they realize, like, you start to, you know, pick up one more round, you get yourself really close to map and match point. There's no need to mess this lead up at the moment. And they don't have much money either, so if they lose this round, then, hey, we could see Fnatic taking 14. There we go. Actually, I didn't even get the kill. Brolin gets the double. I thought JW had that first one.
Yeah, it seems like it's firing blanks at the moment. Molotov forces actually the T's back. They're the ones who threw it. 45 seconds left on the clock. A rotation back now would be actually quite risky, especially considering where Crims currently waits. Brolin now going to get aggressive onto Banana once again. So all that initial map control that was taken by the T's with their aggressive peak has now been lost again. So a lot of it's null and void, and Snappy has to be careful. He can make it past here, but then he's going to be having the fastest flank in the world from Brolin. He's got to be careful. He is going to be checking a lot of these angles. Timing is going to be absolutely everything on Brolin. He gets his 3rd kill of the round. Now he has the crossfire onto the site. S-Tag, he'll know it. He needs this kill, and it's not going to happen. Fnatic with a 13th, a clean one at that again. We speak about sort of 2 players being highlighted. They're in a race for first at the moment. 24 and 24 for Brolin and Flusher. Well, as you mentioned, money now becomes an issue once again for Heroic. It seems to be the battle not only of the rounds, but of economy.
Yeah, if this nade stack works out, then hey, Heroic could pick up some weapons off of it. Look to stabilize a little bit. But realistically, Fnatic should be going on 14 after this round. Let's see the push to come very fast. At least to set things up over towards the B site. Trying to get 2 players out towards short. Nade stack comes in. Fortunately for them, no one was boosted up going for that one. Cadian's going to miss out on the shots, and, well, fortunately for Heroic, Fnatic won't miss out on too many more, and that's going to be the 14th round now done. The money will be there for Heroic, but again, going to be hurting in terms of buy. They're still going to be missing a piece here or a piece there of utility.
And this is crunch time as well. They'll have a bit of loss bonus behind them at this point, but without a bomb plant, we could be seeing them on a really sketchy buy going into the next round if they aren't able to take this. As you said, there are a few pieces missing. They still have a couple of Molotovs, and the smokes are still available to them.
I like how they're funneling them with these Molotovs, actually. You see one towards Playground, you saw one towards the middle connector. It's like, no, come towards Fountain. Come this direction. Now, this is the boost we saw the nade stack coming out of Heroic. Specifically to deal with, but unfortunately there's no one there for Fnatic in that round.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Heroic are really planning here. They've used a lot of their nades early. JW's just been wrecked as S-Tag takes his head clean off. It's not been his day. Luckily for Fnatic, he's not been the man that's been getting the majority of the frags. Brolin is one of them. He's going to be sat back on the site, looking to try and take the initiative around This banana spot once again has to be careful peeking into long. It doesn't have much support. The flashbang though from Flusher. This tag team continues.
Oh.
Nade going to be going down. I'm not sure that's quite what he meant to do. The smoke eventually will follow. As he just tries to survive. He needs this kill and he gets it as well. That's the bomb drop. Brolin can continue his push and he's got Golden to support him now. Fnatic surely are going to have their 15th onto the board. Barup just desperately trying to fight this one back. Doesn't have control of the bomb and doesn't have time.
Got 3 different angles to clear. Supposed to run really far to get the bomb. You might as well just save now, right?
I don't even think he knows that Brolin is in this corner. Sorry, Golden is in this corner. It didn't matter anyway. 15 to 13. Again, sick flashbang coming out of Flusher, but Brolin, he did the job. 27 kills. Heroic, after winning their opponent's map choice, after getting into a strong position on their own, they're now just 1 round away from being eliminated first in the tournament, finishing last in back-to-back events. It happened over in Sweden in DreamHack Winter, which I think would be far more of a surprise, in all honesty, but I think this is the one that would be more painful for them, especially with the way they've performed in this series. It's not like I feel like they necessarily deserve to go out, but somebody has to.
I mean, it was a 16-9 victory on Inferno for Heroic. And they came back and won 16-13 on Vertigo. Like, it's pretty crazy to me to see they can lose so heavily on the first map and then be able to, you know, step it up a little bit as time to go on.
That is Fnatic. Like, that is what they've been for quite a while. Like, they don't really seem to have a clean series, but a lot of the time they do come out on top. I don't think there's any team that will want to face them. Aggressive play from Brolin once again. He's going to get that starter. JW waiting. This worries me. He has not been able to connect the shot. It seems to be more of the same. Brolin's going to go down trying to retreat. I don't know what's happened, but JW really has added a terrible map. Hopefully, his team are going to be there to drag him over the line. The MAC-10 comes running. S-Tag. That's another kill onto the board. Crims been chugging along. 22 frags. Looking for more. It's actually going to be a TK. Not the round you want it. Flusher looks to close it. Number up. Left alone again. It's not going to be happening. Fnatic, they have made the comeback. They lose their map choice. They're even losing on Vertigo, a map we don't see them play too often. And they come back and win both 16 to 13.